doesn't take a lot of effort to say hello. Doesn't take a lot of effort to shake somebody's hand. Doesn't take a lot of effort to look somebody in the eye. And for me, it's important that I could be the guy who walks through, doesn't shake anybody's hand, or I can be the guy who can stop for 5 minutes, take a picture, shake somebody's hand, ask them their name. And the two are very different. And I always want to be the latter, the guy who said, "Hey, I saw Sean, and by the way, I got to shake his hand. I got to look him in the eye. He said hi to me. He asked me a couple questions." That's the kind of person that I want to be.
Welcome to another episode of the Prosper Brief. I am your host, Jeremiah Wynn, and today we have a very special guest. He is the CEO of Taco Bell and the Chief Consumer Officer of Yum Brands, Sean Tresvant. Sean, thank you so much for being here with us, man.
Thank you for having me.
So I understand you've been traveling for the past 7 weeks?
7 weeks, yeah.
Is that the mantle that you have to put on when you take on the role of a CEO, or is this something that you're choosing to do?
No, I think it's the job. We're a global company, so I've been in Dallas, where Yum headquarters is. I have been in China, where we have stores. I've been in Korea, where we have stores. I have been in Chicago. So I've been where the needs of the business are. I go. I have a great team, and they're on the road as well. But it's kind of the job, and it's fun getting out to see our stores and our consumers.
That's really cool, man. So I wore Jordan today because of you. I'm like, yeah. I'm about to meet Sean Tresvant. Let me come correct. I'm not going to come
I should have worn mine. Yeah, I should have worn mine.
But the one thing that is funny is that you made the transition from Jumpman to Taco Bell, which may be confusing to some of the audience out there. Do you mind kind of letting us into that story? How did you make that transition? What was that like?
Yeah, I'm a Northwest kid. I was born in Seattle, Washington. So I always knew Nike because Northwest and Seattle and Portland touch. And it was a bucket list. If I could ever work at Jordan, Nike, it would be a dream job. Yeah. And it doesn't start out that way, as you know. My first job was merchandising wine. My second job was at Campbell Soup. Okay. And one day I had the opportunity when I was working at Sports Illustrated to interview with Nike. Long story short, I got the job, and it was a dream come true. It was the bucket list company. It was a bucket list job, and I spent 15 years there. And I always tell people I got my PhD at Nike. But like in any person, you always trying to grow and stay curious. And a call came from a company called Taco Bell, and it was a company that I've always grown up with. It was like a high school friend. Yeah. I knew the brand very well. I thought it was a great company, great brand, great business. And I made the choice to leave Nike to Taco Bell. And I think there's a leap of faith on both sides whenever you go from a company. There's a leap of faith on them that you're going to be good, and a leap of faith from you that they're gonna be good. Yeah. And it's just worked out perfectly. I've been there 4 years now. Okay. It's a dream job. I'm having a lot of fun. We're doing well. And the similarity is that they're both great products. Whether it's stuff on the menu at Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, crispy chicken, crunch wraps, or if they're Jordans, 11s, 4s, 5s, or 6. In my world, if you can tell great stories about the products, if you can tell why Crunchwrap is a Crunchwrap or why a 12 is a 12, consumers will want your product.
I love the storytelling aspect of marketing that we've talked about even before we were on the podcast. What really drove you to wanting to be in the marketing field?
It was just whether you're watching a movie, whether you're listening to music, whether you're buying a brand, you need to create emotion in people. Yeah. I think the best brands create emotion. I think the best movies create emotion. I think the best music makes your heartbeat tick up a little bit. Yeah. And for me, that idea of you can bring emotion to people in your product or in your storytelling is a very, very cool idea. Yeah. And so that's what attracts me to brands, and that's what attracted me to Taco Bell, attracted me to Jordan. And it's the fun part of my job is that I get to go tell stories that create emotion in people.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have when it comes to marketing?
I think people think marketing is all shooting videos. I think people think marketing is all, we're going to tell stories. Today's marketing, that might have been yesterday's marketing. Today's marketing is how do you deliver? How do you deliver clicks on social? How do you deliver ROI for the campaign? Yeah. If you're going to do a story or a campaign about a Crunchwrap, how many Crunchwraps did you sell? So I think the perception, it's all cool and it's all storytelling with no ROI. Today, you have to deliver ROI to make sure that you are telling stories that deliver for your consumer.
Did you ever have a moment where you felt like, you were hopeful that you could eventually be a CEO?
I did. I think early on, as you grow up and you progress in your marketing careers, you kind of squint and you kind of say, hopefully one day. But again, it's the humility of not expecting it. But if I work really hard, if I show up, if I do the right things, if I stay curious, maybe one day. But I want to make sure people know. For me, there's no entitlement. No matter what level you reach to, it's not about the private jet. It's not about the letters after your title. It is about you as a person and the humility and the way you make people feel.
Well, that's such an interesting perspective. I want to get your perspective on this. So on social media and a lot of podcasting, everyone is pushing be your own boss, be your own CEO, work your own business. And it feels like some people they're willing to be a CEO at the cost of having no one to lead, right? What are your thoughts on how social media is pushing us this direction?
Yeah, everybody has the right to be their own brand and do what they feel they need to do. So if somebody wants to be the brand of Self Inc., more power to them. If somebody wants to be the CEO of Kraft, more power to them. Yeah. I think it's just, for me, the way I think about it is just try to be the best I can be each and every day, and most importantly, help people be the best they can be.
Sean, I'm so grateful for the time that we're spending. If I can just ask you a few more questions.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Because I'm so interested in knowing more about your family dynamic. When you're traveling 7 weeks in a row, what is that like? What is the foundation? How do you keep going?
Yeah, I try to stay in touch with the family as much as I can through the phone. I try to get my workout in to make sure I stay healthy. And even though I'm on the road for work, I still take time for myself. I read, I meditate, I do the things that are important to me. So it's not on 24/7. It's making sure, as Sean, that I am doing stuff for me as well as doing stuff for the company, but also doing stuff for me, stuff that keeps me grounded.
I love the humility aspect of that. As we were walking over here, you shook every single hand. You shook every other hand. Yeah. You took so much time and you shook every single hand. And I feel like that's the message of humility that we can all learn, right?
Yeah. One thing I learned very, very young in life, it doesn't take a lot of effort to say hello. It doesn't take a lot of effort to shake somebody's hand. It doesn't take a lot of effort to look somebody in the eye. And for me, it's important that I could be the guy who walks through, doesn't shake anybody's hand, or I can be the guy who can stop for 5 minutes, take a picture, shake somebody's hand, ask them their name. And the two are very different. And I always want to be the latter, the guy who said, hey, I saw Sean, and by the way, I got to shake his hand. I got to look him in the eye. He said hi to me. He asked me a couple questions. That's the kind of person that I want to be.
Wow, that was well spoken. On a lighter note, what was your welcome to the restaurant industry moment?
Working in a Taco Bell. Very early on, I worked in a Taco Bell, and a couple lessons for me. Folding a crunch wrap is really, really hard. Number two for me, I learned a lesson. It was dinner time. There was a lot going on. Aggregators were coming. It was a little bit of a rush hour. And one of the team members, the people who worked there, my job was to take the aggregators, the delivery orders, take them from the back of the kitchen and put them on the shelf. And I'm rushing, and I'm a little bit stressed. And he said, never forget your sonrisa. And sonrisa means smile. So as stressed as I was, this team member said, customers, never forget your sonrisa. And I think it wasn't only a moment for me about the store, it's a moment in life. Like, always never forget your smile. Yeah. And that was just a great lesson for me. But that was my welcome to the industry moment.
Wow, never forget your sonrisa. Thank you so much for sharing.
Amen.
Thank you for being here right now. I know that you're very busy. When I was here earlier with you and James, just being around you guys, I was so humbled. So my last question that I have to ask you is, are there any nuggets that you would like to leave to any of the accelerators, the next generation of the leaders who are trying to eventually get to the C-suite of the industry?
The nugget I'd give is, it's not only about the destination. A lot of people think it's about the destination. It's about, once I get to this title, this level, this job, it's about the journey. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to have step forwards, you're going to have step backs. And if I could tell myself anything, is enjoy the journey. And for you yourself, enjoy the journey. You're going to be wildly successful. You have massive talent, but enjoy the journey. Don't only think about where you're going, think about the path to get there and stopping some other roses, as they say.
Mic drop. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate having you. You guys, I hope you got something out of this. We're so grateful here at Prosper Accelerate that we got to spend time with Sean Tresvant. We will see you next time here on the Prosper Brief.